Aloha. Welcome to Nānākuli Beach Park. We are so grateful for everybody who took the time to come today to learn about our new initiative with the Honolulu Police Department. To get us started, I'm going to introduce to you Prosecuting Attorney Stephen Alm.
Thank you, and thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, for coming today. Before we start, I'd like to have a moment of silence to honor the two Westside residents who have recently been killed in traffic collisions. Corey Kamaka and Tea Mahelona, her celebration of life is going on today. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. We've heard the words weed and seed. The weed and seed strategy and the safe and sound strategy are the same, just different name. And what it begins with is talking to residents, identifying a geographic area, businesses, schools, nonprofits, and finding out from them what are the big crime problems and what social service gaps are there. And then we try to figure out a way to address both. So the first one was in Kalihi in Chinatown. We had stew and rice at Kailani Elementary School. I said the same thing, and they said, well, you're the expert. And I said, yeah, but I live in Kaimuki, so tell us about what you need. And they said the drug dealers on Pua Lane are the biggest problem. They're selling drugs all day. People have to walk to school in this gauntlet. But they said we need early childhood education. We need stuff for our kids to do after school and the like. So we worked with HPD on the law enforcement side of it. I was U.S. Attorney at the time, Peter Carlisle at the prosecutors, and HPD, they're the primary partners in this. And it ended up reducing crime in Chinatown and Kalihi by 70%. There were 10,000 arrests the year before it started and 2,300 in the third year. So this really works. And in addition to the reduce arrest, we also started a Head Start program at Kukui Gardens. Lilio County Trust paid for tutoring at Kailani Elementary School, and then the head custodian ran an after-school sports program for 2 hours every day. They also said people speed up and down Pua Lane, getting between King Street and Vineyard. So the city council put in speed humps in a couple weeks. That solved the problem. We never would have predicted that kind of thing. So the first part of this is getting together and doing the law enforcement piece. So we have been working with HPD for the last year in a variety of ways, working with the businesses, training them, talking to them about how we can prosecute cases, and we'll use whatever we can. When you designate something as a weed and seed or safe and sound project, that typically leads to higher bail. It also means any felony, we're holding the person in custody and charging them. We want immediate consequences. So the second part of this is going to be, which is going to really start now, is the sound part, is the community part. And I'm really happy we've just hired a full-time coordinator, Katie Kahanui. She had been working with Waikiki. She's now going to be full-time working on this. Major Beckley, thank her. She's going to give her space to work out of the Waianae Police Department. So she'll have an office with us, but she'll be spending a lot of time out here. I just want to emphasize, this is the largest either weed and seed or safe and sound project by far. There are 13 miles on the west side, 50,000 residents, but we never thought we would pick one community over another, one neighborhood over another. So it's going to take a little longer, but it's really important. And I really want to emphasize, we're not here to replace anyone. We're not here to interfere with any of the great efforts, because there are lots of good things already going on the west side. And again, it believes in law enforcement. So we're working on that. We're going to continue to work on that, but we're really happy that we are bringing in other law enforcement partners like Mike Lambert of the Department of Law Enforcement and Ken Sorensen with the U.S. attorneys for federal prosecutions. This strategy, whether it's crime reduction or making the community better, has a lot of different parts to it. We're going to work with the schools to use proven strategies to help young people make better decisions, not to respond impulsively to things, but to think slower and try to avoid staying out of trouble. We're going to be supportive with programs that use folks, I think they refer to them as community interrupters or violence interrupters, members of the community who may have had a rocky history, but now have gone straight and want to be part of the solution. Well, they'll be in the community every day, and they'll hear what the problems are, try to nip things in the bud, try to work on, and it's got to be credible people doing this. But it's working on stopping any retaliation if something happens and working on other ways to do things. HPD has already been doing this in large part when they worked with Mana Olayan of the God Forgives Bad Boys and Bad Girls, who walked the walk doing that with community neighborhood security watches, talking to younger people, saying there are other ways you can do this, you don't have to keep doing it. We've been working at HPD to identify who are the most likely to commit crimes and then focusing on law enforcement with them. It reflects the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle, that 20% of any group are responsible for 80% of the consequences output in use. It's like that with drinking. The top, and most people don't realize this, the top 10 drinkers, top 10% of drinkers in the United States drink more than 50% of the alcohol. And it's the same thing with marijuana smokers and other things. This Pareto principle holds true. So that's already having an effect. And we will certainly continue with doing stuff like that. And the businesses have been great. We're looking forward to continuing to work with the city on a variety of projects, building on what they've done in Waikiki. Because when we brought the Safe and Sound idea to Waikiki, partnering with HPD, the city jumped in with both feet. They did a lot of beautification projects with the idea that if a place looks nicer and it's a nicer place to live, people are going to treat it better. And if it's nice and it's safe, they'll be coming out of their houses. Because if the safe part works and crime is reduced, then people will be more likely to participate in activities, more likely to be outside their homes. When that happens, crime goes down. So they're already doing that. And we'll be trying to assist in the homelessness challenge. Many of the folks behind me, like the mayor, like the schools, are already putting a lot of resources into it. And we will try to keep building on that to see how we can help out with that project. On the subject of crime reduction, if you ask the average person on the street, they're going to say crime's up. And in fact, it's not. It is down significantly. It's down in every category on the west side. Comparing, HPD has a great dashboard with data on it. So comparing January 1st, 2024 to November 17 of 2024, comparing that to the same time period in 2025, murder on the west side is down by 70%. Robbery is down 44%. Motor vehicle theft is down 33%. And no doubt there are lots of reasons why this has happened. Lots of people are deserving of credit for doing this. You know, part of it may well be HPD and us in prosecuting cases and doing that. But a lot of it is whoever's doing the after-school programs, whoever's doing the neighborhood security watches, who's ever participating by calling 911, who's willing to testify in court, who's helping those in their communities. Keep it up. It takes an entire community to make this happen. And we all got to support. One of the challenges is that people have the perception that crime's up. And we got to try to change the narrative, change that perception by repeating it, that crime is down. I think it's demoralizing for people to think that crime is up, nothing can be done. That's absolutely not true. Crime is going down. So we're changing the narrative from kahe to kaena. Crime is down and we'll keep working on it. I'm pledging the resources of my office to try to make this happen. Now I'd like to introduce a number of the partners. Our first one is our main partner in getting these, whether it's Weed and Seed, Safe and Sound in Waikiki, or here, our main partner here to begin with is HPD. So if I could call on Chief Rade Vanic. Chief Vanic.
Thank you, Prosecutor Aung. Aloha, and thank you all for being here today. Over the past year, the Honolulu Police Department has been proud to work closely with the Department of the Prosecuting Attorney, and most importantly, with the people of the West Side, from Nānākuli to Mākaha, to launch a Safe and Sound Westside. This initiative is rooted in a simple idea. When law enforcement and community wellness move together, our neighborhoods become safer, stronger, and more resilient. Safe and Sound Westside is a strategy that directly targets the crimes impacting this community. Throughout the past year, we met with residents, businesses, nonprofits, schools, churches, and many others who shared their concerns and their hopes for a safer Westside. Their voices guided the enforcement priorities and the support services that form this initiative. HPD's role is clear. We are committed to increasing accountability for those who endanger public safety. With our partners at the prosecutor's office, we are implementing higher bail for repeat and violent offenders, ensuring felony cases are charged immediately, and strengthening our response to thefts, arson, assaults, and other violent crimes. These steps mean faster action, stronger cases, and better protection for the residents of Nānākuli through Mākaha. But strong policing also depends on strong partnerships. Our officers are working with schools, community groups, and service providers to prevent violence before it starts. We know trust is earned, and HPD is committed to being visible, responsive, and engaged with the community we serve. Safe neighborhoods are built through collaboration, and the Westside has shown again and again that it is ready to work together. I want to thank the Mayor's Office, the Prosecutor's Office, Honolulu City Council, State Legislature, the state legislators, and the many community leaders, residents, businesses, and organizations who helped shape this initiative. Your voices guided this work, and your partnerships will continue to drive it forward. Safe and Sound Westside builds on the progress already happening, and HPD is fully committed to doing our part. The families on the Westside deserve to feel safe, and we here, side by side with the community, to make that a reality. Aloha.
Okay, and if I could please call on our mayor, Rick Blangiardi.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. You know, I come here the week before Thanksgiving with a thankful heart. I can see and feel the momentum in this community. It's been long overdue, but as Chief Vanic just said, deserved. You know, this community deserves to be the best it can be. And I would tell you, the leaders that are out here and the responses we're getting and the cooperation and the effort and the caring is really inspiring. So in that regard, I want to thank Prosecutor for his vision, because we kind of came into our jobs around the same time and talking about bringing back weed and seed and safe and sound. So these are a couple of concepts that we've been working pretty hard in Chinatown and Waikiki. And Katie, congratulations on this decision to join the prosecutor's office. And we know it works. And I'm encouraged to know that we're going to be applying that out here. It's no small ambition, no small task. As Steve said, it'll be the largest undertaking of its kind. But we already have a lot of really good momentum. And I'm so grateful for that. And I also want to thank Chief Vanic, because one of the things that makes this go is the collaboration between HPD and the prosecutor's office. And I have every confidence in Major Beckley. Which I just have the greatest respect for her and what's happening out here. So knowing full well, we've got leadership, we have commitment, we're putting resources together and a determination. Add to that the power of this community to take care of itself, the power of this community to really make the difference that so many want to see. You know, I know they talked a lot about crime being down, and I think that's really, to take nothing away from what HPD's done, I think that's a function of what's going on right now. I really sense, as you drive out here, it looks very different. And in all the conversations we've had and the things that we've been doing, as we've been learning too, I've been able to listen to people who are making a difference. I see Pastor Allen up here. You know, he alluded to Monica. It's all going in the right direction, but we're not there yet. So in that regard, one of the things, we've been learning and doing a lot of stuff since we've been in office. One of the things that we know really works, highly effective, is our whole new concept. We want to bring the whole new concept here, but we want to work with the community to make that happen. I can tell you the recent setup that we've had, and we've had them in Waipahu, we've moved it around, it's been mobile, and most recently in Mo'iliili. Our ability to take care of what everybody thinks is the classic prototype of a homeless person, that single male. We have as many families as we do single males being there. We take care of women, we take care of kids, and it's a great transitional play. We want to add that to the mix in addition to what Steve is talking about with respect to Safe and Sound out here. But that's going to be highly reliant on a high degree of cooperation with the community, and we intend to do that. So look, I mean this with all the sincerity in my heart. Our administration is really proud of what we've been able to accomplish to date. We don't feel like the job is even done, close to being done here, but we're determined to make a real big difference. I give you that promise. We are focused and we are committed. I want to thank you all. I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. God bless you.
I'd like to call on U.S. Attorney Ken Sorensen.
Thank you, Steve. From the perspective of the U.S. Attorney's Office, we really enjoy and love being part of these collaborative efforts. And I want to thank Steve for inviting us along. We recognize with Safe and Sound that the safe part in many ways is very much augmented when you have federal power behind it. And for us, that means bringing in our prosecutors and our ability to take cases into federal court and seek what can be very stiff sentences for those who violate gun, drug laws, those who are violent in our communities. It's incredibly important to have that muscle behind every initiative. And what I pledge to Steve and to the Y&I Safe and Sound, or the Westside Safe and Sound initiative, is that the U.S. Attorney's Office will be there. We'll be there to take those cases that are appropriate. And all the wrongdoers out here, all the criminals out here who think they're going to get away, it's going to be a cakewalk, it's not. It hasn't been in many ways. My office has been deeply involved in pursuing those who commit violent crimes, those who commit gun crime, those who commit drug crime, which we all know engenders a lot of the violence that we see out in our communities and a lot of the collateral crime that comes along too. So we pledge to Steve and to the rest of our partners that we'll be there to take those appropriate cases, to seek justice for the community and for those victims of violent crime and those victims of drug crime, because there are victims of drug crime. Let's not fool ourselves. So once again, I say thank you to Steve for inviting us, and we look forward to working in a collaborative effort with all of our partners out here. But thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's been really good to have Ken there, because I don't have ownership issues about these cases. If we can get a better bang for the buck, and we can in a number of cases in federal court, we've already worked with them on some cases where HPD may arrest them. We look at it and call the U.S. Attorney's Office and say, maybe this would be a good case for you. So we want to keep on with that. I'm really happy to introduce the great Major from D8, Gail Beckley.
Aloha, everyone. I'm truly honored to be part of this Safe and Sound announcement today. Safe and Sound Westside began in November of 2024 with the safe phase, which was the easier phase to start out with. Over the past year, we've been laying down the foundation for the sound phase, strengthening our partnerships with DOE, with our community leaders, with our local politicians, planning to support and uplifting our community here. And today is just another step in that progress. So I'm so happy that we also have Katie on board to help us out here. The Safe and Sound Westside is about protecting the families and restoring the sense of safety in our community, which we deserve out here. Every day, the police officers show up with their hearts, responding to crimes, supporting our neighborhoods, standing with the people on the West Side. As part of, and as the district commander out here, someone who cares deeply about the area, I live out here. My hope is just simple, that everyone out here feels safe, supported, and valued. I really want to especially thank Mr. Om here He's the one who approached me with this idea and this initiative. He has the heart, he has the vision, he has the determination, and he was truly the spark that started this all. And I also want to thanks Christine. You were tremendous in pushing this along, and all the DPAs too. You guys were all supportive in this, coming down to the various meetings that we had down this side. I really appreciate it. And I also want to thank my team that's out here, my community policing team, Lieutenant Carrera, Sergeant Marioka, Sergeant Pagan, and all my team members. They're the ones out here are pushing the pavement. They're the ones that gathering the community. They're working with all the community leaders here. I really, really appreciate them. And lastly, I also want to thank Parks. We have a beautiful park today, you know, that we're doing this here. I really want to thank you. It is hard work, let me tell you. That we truly understand what it takes to keep our parks clean and open for everyone to use. But today we're not doing this alone, but we have the mayor here, we have the prosecutor's office, we have our federal partners, and we have DLE here. And we're going to be a unified team to start this project of the sound part. And we're going to hit the ground running here. And that's all. Also, I wanted to comment, but I just really wanted to thank Mr. Here. He was truly the passion behind this. And thank you so much.
Yeah, Major Beckley and Christine are race buddies. They both just did the Molokai channel. And let's thank Christine. She did a lot of work setting this up. Okay, I'd like to introduce our state partner, Head of Department of Law Enforcement, Mike Lambert.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here and to be a part of what's going on here, right? It's basically everybody in government, law enforcement, everybody, the community coming together and say, we deserve better, right? Our keiki deserve better. And moving into the future, their keiki deserve better. But that doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a year. It happens over subsequent years and time. And that takes a dedicated plan. That takes having tough discussions about what's working and what's not. And it takes the ability to stay focused and stay enthusiastic when, as a community, we have setbacks. Safe and sound are going to be one of those things that are going to be key to this plan as we move forward. We're going to have assessments. We're going to probably have to tweak some things as we go along. But the trick is to be committed to the strategy, because you cannot keep twisting and turning on each other. It takes a very special person to put on a uniform and come out to a community and say, I'm going to make a difference today in the community I serve. Very unique individual. But in my eyes, doing almost 23 years in law enforcement, what is even more important than that officer, what is even more special, is when members of the community wake up in the morning and they say, I'm going to make a difference in the community I live in. And that's why I'm so grateful to see so many people from this community up here, some sitting off to the side, to come out here and say, we want better. We're going to do what it takes to be better. And over the last couple of years, I started off helping out this community as a major in the Honolulu Police Department. Since transitioning to the state, still very committed to Waianae Coast, and coming up to speed and making sure that they feel the same safety that other communities in this county have. And over the last couple of years, I've seen more and more people come out, more and more enthusiasm, more and more people that are saying, we are going to join in. We are going to fight against the negativity that has suppressed this community. We're going to stand together against the individuals that take advantage of us through creating fear and violence. So being that the DLE is a smaller agency, my commitment to this community is through technology. I'm so grateful that I have Interim Chief Vanic to help and to support and to accept the offerings that the state is willing to bring. And I'm happy to announce that we are in the final phases of procuring gunshot detection for the Waianae Coast. I don't have enough for everyone, right, or for every square inch, but it will be focused around the high schools, both Waianae and Nānākuli, and then it'll spread out from there. So there may be gaps in, I don't want to tell people where those are, because then, that's where we might have some crime. But what I can say is technology is going to be the gap filler until we can get people excited about law enforcement again. So, you know, I hope the community embraces what I'm willing to give to this community. I'm grateful to hear U.S. attorneys say that they will take gun cases because that gun detection equipment, when used correctly, is accurate to within 10 feet. So now you overlay that with people's home security cameras, you overlay that with license plate readers, we can really have some quick turnarounds in regards to identifying individuals, particularly that utilize gun violence on the Leeward Coast. So with that, I'm grateful to be here. I'm committed to being a part, and whatever small support the state can give, please reach out. Mahalo.
I'd now like to call on School Superintendent Keith Hayashi.
Thank you very much, Prosecutor. Aloha and good afternoon. I'm happy to be here today to help officially launch Safe and Sound Westside, an important step toward building safer, stronger neighborhoods for our keiki and families. This initiative represents what happens when a community comes together. Law enforcement, outreach teams, schools, service providers, and local organizations, united around a shared goal, ending violence, and creating a West Side where every child feels safe and supported. When our neighborhoods are unsafe, our students feel it first. It impacts their learning, their confidence, and their sense of belonging in school. That's why today matters. Safe and Sound Westside gives us a coordinated approach to protect our keiki, strengthen well-being, and support the families that we serve every day. This launch is more than the start of a program. It's a renewed sense of commitment, a commitment that violence will not define the West Side, a commitment that every child deserves to walk to and from school without fear, and a commitment to address the root causes, trauma, housing instability, lack of resources, mental health challenges, with the same urgency we bring to immediate safety concerns. This work belongs to all of us. It's a shared responsibility and a shared opportunity to shape a safer, more hopeful future for our West Side youth. I look forward to continuing to work together as one community, united in purpose for our students. Mahalo.
Okay, and now I'd like to call up Complex Area Superintendent Disa Hagi. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody. Nānākuli Waianae children and parents are amazing and resilient. Our schools will bring to this Safe and Sound collaborative the perspective of children and what they need to thrive. Our families teach their children that in our community, we live aloha and we stand up for each other. They support and celebrate their children's efforts and successes in school. In our schools, we see how children's learning is affected by houselessness, food and financial insecurity, and community violence. We address these the best we can given our resources because it is critical that kids have a calm and safe experience in school in order to be able to focus and learn. For example, in collaboration with Elepaio and Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, we have food pantries in all of our schools. In our three secondary schools, we have medical clinics. Safe and Sound heard that we need our kids to have access to healthy activities and are working towards finding funding for the upcoming summer fun field trips. Without that funding, kids can go to summer fun, but they might not be able to go on field trips. There's so much more that we can do together. Our community is incredibly strong and caring. Having its voice heard and making sure we meet the needs of our children are critically important. Together, all of us as partners with our community and with our agencies and with our state entities, we can live aloha. This is one island, one moku, one state, one country. We can live aloha, we can stand up for each other, and we can make a difference in our children's present, which is a difference in their future. Thank you.
And one of the important sound activities that took place just a few months ago was working with the folks from Parks and Rec and working with the Opioid Settlement Committee to get money in order to give hundreds of kids a chance to go to summer fun. And so Parks and Rec was great to that. I'd like to introduce Kehau Pu'u for that.
Thank you. Hi, aloha mai kako. Mahalo. On behalf of Director Laura Thielen, who couldn't be here today, and the Department of Parks and Recreation, I just want to express our commitment also to Safe and Sound Westside and our kuleana to engage actively in this effort. As mentioned, through our recreation, well, first of all, aside from the obvious, right, parks, we have parks across this whole coastline, and we continue to work with HPD, other city partners, and our elected officials to make our parks safe and welcoming. They are heavily utilized, and so we continue to work hard to maintain and make them safe and welcoming for our communities. But another key strategy is education. And so through our recreation programs here on the West Side, we serve almost 3,000 keiki and opio throughout the year. This past summer, we served up to 800 students through our summer fun and team programs. And as Prosecutor Alms shared, through Kokua, through a grant and collaboration with the Prosecuting Attorney's Office, we were able to support our haumana on this side of the island to participate and have fees waived so that they could experience field trips to the water park, to Kualoa and other places. So these are and have been opportunities, and this is how we want to contribute, not just by maintaining our parks, but also by really gearing up and pumping up our programs. Again, keiki and opio, opportunity for engagement when they're out of school. So we want to focus on health and wellness. We want to develop a sense of place and aloha for our community in Aina, so that we can grow leaders, along with our education partners, grow leaders who can become strong contributors to this kaiāulu, to this community. Nānākuli through Waianae, Moku of Waianae. And we look forward to continuing to work with our community partners, with our city partners, with the Prosecuting Attorney's Office, mahalo ia'oe, with all of you to continue this effort and influence our community. Aloha.
And our other elected officials are very supportive. It's great to have this kind of backing from the legislature. I'd like to introduce Representative Chris Muraoka.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out to the best side of this island. Yeah, if you disagree, go ahead and leave right now. But seeing everybody here, it's amazing. It's helps our community understand that we are not forgotten. Far too often, we feel like we're forgotten. But I do want to recognize the hard work of our HPD, Prosecutor's Office, DLE, our education system, and even our volunteers. Everybody here plays a key pivotal role. But I also want to speak honestly. Programs, studies, policies, they're all important. But the one single most important thing that we have is community voice. And I know this beautiful young lady sitting here is our new coordinator of the Safe and Sound Westside. I'm going to commit to you to working personally from my office to yours, which is literally, Major Beckley, you're giving her a spot? That's less than 200 feet apart. So we will work together. And through that, we will hear the community. And when we hear the community and when we listen to the community, the important part is responding. That is the lack of effort we have out here right now. Our police are so overwhelmed. Our amazing men and women in blue, they are the best. I really truly feel they are the best. That's why I decided to speak today when invited, because to hear that the prosecutor is now doing their job by stepping up, increasing penalties, in minimizing time in the way we charge these people, we can help get these repeat offenders off of the streets. To hear Mr. Hayashi and the best cast that the state has sitting here, working with the kids, that is it. If we can teach the kids to make better, smarter choices, that already helps. If we can teach the kids that through our prosecutor, through our police chief, and through everybody else, myself included, that it's okay to speak up when they see something, to encourage them that speaking up is the right thing to do. Out here on our West Coast, we have a stigma that nobody wants to be a tattletale. How do we encourage, how do we change that to let them know that you're not tattletaling, you're helping? I have so much more to say, but there's so much more people behind me that want to talk. I'm going to say thank you. I optimistically look forward to doing everything in my power from my office to help, and please lean on us. Thank you.
I'd next like to, as was said, the community is the most important part of this. So I would like to bring up one of the folks whose West Side is in her heart, and she does whatever she can to help things, Joe Jordan.
Mahalo, Steve. First and foremost, this is a great day. I can finally speak. We've been kind of under a wrap for the last year, and I'm very happy that today is happening. You see, almost 20 plus years ago, I sat on that committee to bring Weed and Seed to the 96792 community, and unfortunately, we lost it to another community on the island of Oʻahu. Here nor there. There was a lot of effort put towards that. So when I was invited by HPD to come to these meetings and hear Mr. our prosecutor's thoughts about what Weed and Seed is, what Safe and Sound Waikiki is, and that he wanted to spend his next 3 years to put that effort into this community. At first I've been down this rodeo before, and it took me a month or two. And then I bought in because I knew who the collaborators were at the table. Mr. Our Major, Beckley from District 8, who is committed that she'll be here the next 3 years. Our Kaz, who has committed she will be here the next 3 years. And I'm sure Kehaupu'u with the Department's Parks and Rec will be here the next 3 years. And of course, let's not forget our mayor, who will be here the next 3 years. So I said, well, I'm gonna jump in both feet because I think we need stability going forward for these efforts. I'm very pleased what I've heard in the last year on the safe part and the higher penalties and the quicker arrests in our community, because we all know that over the last 3 years, it's been very traumatic for many of our generational families out here and our community members, with the loss of many different lives in many different ways, including some of my personal friends up Waianae Valley. And to hear another youth shot and left on the side of the road in our community needs to cease. Now, as prosecutor has stated, our numbers are down in crimes, but clearly these have become very visible. And when we talk about our youth, our campuses on those school properties should be a safe place for all our children, all our families, and gathering. That has always been my mantra. So I look forward to this collaborative effort. I look forward to us making some change of directory in the next 3 years. And I'm hoping we can all come together as a community, because we are all 96792. Not Waianae, not Mākaha, not Nānākuli, not Maili. We are all 96792, from Kahe to Kaena. And we must all remember that. So I appreciate all of the guys and all of the agencies that have put in efforts towards this. And I look forward to working on the sound portion with all our nonprofits, our public schools, our churches, and our community. So again, thank you, Mr. for bringing this initiative to the West Side. I am truly 2 feet in for you, sir.
Thank you. Our next speaker introduced me to Christmas on the Ave and Blue Light Christmas. He's kind of shy, but we'll do our best. Let me call up Pastor Alan Cardenas.
Hello, everybody. I'm here today because we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Our culture is second to none. We got amazing leaders here today. But yet at the same time, we have to be real as we get ready for Thanksgiving and the holidays. a lot of families will have empty chairs at their tables. Empty chairs this Thanksgiving and this Christmas because of the violence, the shootings, and the tragedies. Think about this. I'm here today because I'm sick and tired of all the violence and all the tragedies that's happening. I also understand that darkness is not the problem out there, lack of light is. So I'm here committed to this vision. I'm committed to this leadership. I'm committed to this people that we all can and must be heroes this holiday season and moving forward. We must be heroes and aim for zero. What does that mean? Make sure that our families go home alive this holiday season. Be heroes and stop the domestic violence. Be heroes and stop the shootings. Be heroes and make sure that we get up earlier to go to work so we don't speed, so we don't run the red lights, so we don't risk the loss of another one of our family members. So I'm here today, I committed, because we want to call out the best and the blessed from the West. All of those in 96792, be our hero. Stand with us. Let us lokahi and laulima together because the spirit of aloha is alive and well. That's what this is. This represents not just 96792, but the beautiful spirit of our home Hawaiʻi. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? I believe that this is an epic moment for our community, and we need all of you to stand together for such a time as this. So thank you very much. My name is Alan Cardenas Jr. I am shy, but yet I approve this message. Thank you.
Okay, and there are a few people I just do want to recognize for being here. We've referred to it before, but we're really happy to have Katie Kahanui here as the Weed and Safe and Sound Coordinator. She'll be working with a lot of you. She'll be working part-time in our office, but she'll be out here a lot of the time. So we're really happy to be welcoming Katie. A lot of my leadership team is here today, and they're sitting in the back row. They're all going to be working on this effort. D8 under Major's leadership, their community policing team is great. So I just want to recognize their representative here today, and that's Corporal Roland Hagan. Thank you. I know Senator DeCourt wanted to be here today. Lavinia Kaffa from her office is here, so thank you for being here. I know she wanted to make it. She's traveling. The city is all in on this, as they have been on all sorts of projects, because the mayor wants it so, and he's really determined about making it happen. So that includes Andy Sugg, the Chief of Staff, Anton Krucky, Director of Community Services, Roy Miyahara, Director of Homeless Solutions, and there are a few other members of the community. Kawi Asinsen is the Community Schools Coordinator for In Peace. Ed Werner is here. Calais Wilbur is here. And the last thing I would like to mention is one of the groups that we are really looking to have leadership here are all the parents on the West Side. Being a parent is really hard. It's really difficult. I get that, but it's really important. And while it doesn't seem like it all the time, parents are the most important folks to lead their kids in how to behave, how to do things. So what the parents are doing is great. One extra thing I'd like to say is if there are firearms in the home, make sure you lock them up. That will prevent accidents, prevent suicides, prevent a burglar from getting a hold of a firearm in order to cause trouble. So thank you, parents, for all the work that you do. And I want to thank, everybody here as a team. You hear that? We also have, I want to recognize Jocko Van Delden. If you have ever had a torn muscle or otherwise, you may well have gone to see one of his groups. He is going to be supporting us and supporting this effort out there in the community. It's businesses. And so representing the Westside businesses today are Justin Wilkerson and Bronson Perrin from CVS. They have been involved from the beginning. It's really good to work with them. There are a lot of other good business on the coast, but I do want to recognize them for being here today. Thank you. Okay, thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate it. This is just the continued start. You know, we started the safe part. We'll continue that, but now it's full-blown on the sound part. So we'll be listening to the community and trying to make it as positive and as vital a place as we can. Thank you very much for coming.